Okay. Okay, get that one, copy it, slam it over here real quick. Okay, wait, hold on, there we go. Stick it like that, there we go. Copy all, post it, go over here to Facebook, do the same thing, no one cares, but you know, whatever. Fuck them. Post it, change this from top chat to live chat and say, hello chat. Alright. Welcome, welcome, happy Friday. I've got a kitty cat on my lap. I'm Minter Dude. He's Minter Dude. He's right here on my lap. Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything in Minecraft. I've done nothing. I've done nothing. Nothing. So I'm like, I need to make a farm. I need to make a wool farm. Cause like, look at this. Like, there's no carpet. There's hardly any carpet. So, and I only have like 2 colors. So, to fix that, I'm gonna go make a wool farm. And I started making a wool farm right there, but then I gave up. I mean, I lost focus. I don't know. Yeah, I need dispensers. Lots of dispensers. Right? 16, because there's 16 colors. So you need 16 dispensers. So I made a bunch of dispensers once upon a time using old using the bows that I got from the mob farm. But I don't know if I still have them, if I use them, if I put them somewhere else. They're not here. Oh, what's this? Dropper. Yeah, dropper. Yeah, nope. So I need to go get me some some what's it called? What's that thing called? Dispensers. But well, here, what I really need, because there's a bunch of bows right here, right? I mean, they're just sitting here. They're all like half dead. I have a bunch of them. So why don't I make droppers here? 16 of them. You need redstone, which is you don't have any. That's all I have. That's all the redstone you have. Oh no, you have more. Okay. But here, you need to make 16. You need more cobblestone. 16 droppers. 16 candles. That's the only words I know, because I heard it in a commercial once upon a time. I heard it in a commercial. So yeah, happy Friday. What's going on, guys? What's going on? You don't even know. So I did a show, what, yesterday? Yesterday? And today, Pam Bondi is already fired. Already gone. She's already out of here. Which is good, right? Pam Bondi is like evil. But it doesn't solve all the problems. No. Dropper. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have made those droppers. Damn it. I did it wrong. I did it incorrectly, because once you make the droppers, they're already made. You can't unmake them. All right, here, we're gonna try it again. This is how you do it. I did it. It's like laborious. Look at this. Look how laborious it is to make a dispenser. You have to click each one at a time. 16 times I got to do this. How laborious. So, like, how do I talk about anything else? I can't. I have to concentrate on what I'm doing, or I will mess up. Which seems kind of stupid, but that's the way it is. Okay, let's see. Pam Bondi, kick the fuck out. Good. Some other guy is gonna take her place. Not so good. Um, he's an idiot. He's a moron. But you'd have to be to work for Donald Trump, right? Right? Fuck Donald Trump. Every day, fuck Donald Trump. Every day. Every hour, fuck Donald Trump. In the neck, in the head, in the hand, in the eyeball. In any orifice you choose. Invent an orifice. I don't care. Fuck Donald Trump. Dropper? Oh wait, no, dispenser. Hey dude, can I just make dispensers? No. No, you have to manually do it. Alright. Manually. Once I get this manually thing done, I can start talking again. But I have to like pay attention. 16 times. Actually, I need more than 16 because I need to make the dispenser for like the oh, I messed up. See, I messed up. See what happens? Alright. Alright, there. Dropper. Bop. 16, and then I need more for well, I don't know how many more. Oh, I'm out of cobblestone. Okay. Just make like the rest. That's good. 19. Ha. And your redstone too. Okay, I'm gonna need glass. There's glass here. I don't want to take glass here though, because like, not much glass here. I should go back to my base and get the glass from there. Whee! So yeah. So the new guy, Mark Wayne something. I just know his first name, Mark Wayne. It's so stupid. What a stupid name, Mark Wayne. Mark Wayne is an idiot. In how many different ways is he an idiot? Here, let me see. I forget all the ways he's an idiot, but if you ever see him talk, you know he's an idiot. Let me show you a picture of Mark Wayne so you know who I'm talking about. This guy right there. That's Donald Trump's new pick. That's Donald Trump's new pick for the Secretary of Homeland Security. This is Mark Wayne cowering from the mob that Donald Trump summoned on January 6th to murder Congress and Mike Pence. He's cowering because the mob will kill him on January 6th. But after January 6th, and since nothing happened to Donald Trump, like the Americans didn't punish Donald Trump for trying to overthrow the government, and instead the white supremacists made him president. So now that the guy who tried to overthrow the government is made president, he's like, oh, now I have to cower from him even more. So he's now working for Donald Trump as the Director of Homeland Security, replacing Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem, you know, she presided over Homeland Security, ICE, murdering at least 3, well, 2 or 3, 3. I think we're up to 3 at least. With guns, 3 Americans, and killed a bunch of people in detention, and like violated civil rights all over the place, and created inhumane conditions to house people, or not even house people, but to incarcerate people, to detain people. So like, yeah, Kristi Noem was bad. This guy here not gonna be any better. because he's a coward. So dispenser, I'm gonna need an observer. Observers. To observe. Observe. Human, observe. Dropper, observer. I need 16. 1, 2, 16 observers. Dropper, I have 5 here. I have 28 dispensers. See, I had all my dispensers here, but oh well. Oh well, oh well. What else do I need? So the observer is going to observe the grass when it's eaten. It's going to put a flashback into a block, which is going to get powered. And then there's a redstone, I think, on top of the block, which will then power the dispenser to use shears, and then deposit. Yeah, I need that, and then boxes. Boxes. Okay. Good to go. Put that back. Put that back. It's a lot of wood. Why'd you have so much wood? Oh, you chopped down trees. That's right. You know, I think this format of getting information out is probably not the best way. If you're getting out information, you want it quick and condensed. And I talk super slow and like meandering while I play Minecraft. So like, probably not the best way to do it, right? You know what I'm saying? We need 16 in a row. Like, I don't know what this is. What are you doing here? So let's start from like right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. See what I mean? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is not gonna fit. I should do 8 by 8. But it looks ugly when I do it that way. Maybe I can do it on the hill and like stagger it that way. How would I stagger it? I don't know. Yeah, how would you do that, dude? Because now I have all these holes. She just made a bunch of holes. Okay. I mean, I can do 8 on this side and then 8 on the other side, and then underground collect all the stuff. Dude, it's dark. Come on. Alright. It's pitch black. You are likely to be eaten by a guru. Let's see. Yeah, I'm so not a hip-hopper. Hip-hop is not my thing. I thought it was, but it wasn't. I like it, but I'm just no good at it. Alright, let's see. Let's go like this. 1. Oh wait, no, I was gonna do it on the wall. Against the wall! But I have no dirt. I need to get dirt. More dirt. Donald, okay, Russia is giving info to Iran to target our troops with their drones, which they do. They've killed, like, I think we're up to 10 dead Americans now, because Iran or Russia tells Iran where the bases are, our American bases are, and then Iran fires a drone at a base thousands of miles away, or like, I don't know about thousands, but far, far away, that nowhere near the front line, and so there's not really much protection. I mean, and they get fucking killed. And that sucks. And then so the administration, the Trump team today said, "Oh, well, we need to take sanctions off of Russia. We need to remove the sanctions from Russia so that they can sell their oil for a better price." Well, wait a minute. We put sanctions on Russia because they're invading Ukraine and are an evil regime. What do you mean you're taking? And now they're giving info to the country that you're at war with, and they just killed our guys. What do you mean you're taking off the sanctions off their oil? Right? What do you mean? But that's what they did. The Trump administration took off the sanctions that were on Russian oil, so Russians could sell their oil better. And that, if Russia can sell their oil better, that means their economy gets stronger and they can continue to wage war against Ukraine. So the question is, whose team is Donald Trump on? I mean, I already know he's a fucking traitor. I know. I've known forever. I've been telling people that he's a traitor. I've been holding a sign that he's a traitor. I've given entire fucking hour-long episodes explaining how Donald Trump is a traitor. So to me, it's nothing new. But maybe for some Americans who are not quite savvy to it yet, maybe finding out that, oh, Donald Trump, Russia is giving information to Iran to kill our troops, and then Donald Trump rewards them by taking sanctions off of Russia. Maybe that will fucking wake you guys up. I don't know. But I don't know, right? Because if you're already against Donald Trump, you're already against him. You don't need more information to hate him. And if you're on Team Donald, you're never leaving him because you didn't think your way into it. It's a feeling. He invokes a feeling. He lets you be as bad as you really are. He gives you permission to be as racist as you can be. So that's why you're with Donald Trump. Not because he's good for America, but because he helps racists be racist. So yeah, that's going on. Like, I don't see, honestly, there's no way the United States can win this war. There's no way we can do it. There's no way. We can't do it. There's no win condition, right? Like, there's nothing to win. There was no reason to go to war against Iran. Obama already fucking made a treaty with them that totally disarmed their nuclear ambitions. They were going to allow inspectors to go in and check them out to make sure they weren't making fucking nuclear weapons. And Donald Trump comes in and rips that shit up and goes to war against them. Now the fucking Persian Gulf is closed, and your gas prices are going to keep going up higher and higher and higher. Which is great for Russia, right? Because Russia needs to sell oil. That's the only thing they got going for them, is oil. The only thing they got going for them. And if you understand that, you understand why Republicans are so against solar panels. As long as your energy comes from oil, you're under the thumb of those who have the oil. And who are the ones with oil? The United States, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Russia. I mean, a few other little ones, right? Like UAE. Venezuela had oil until the United States, well, they still do. But that's why the United States invaded Venezuela, to take their fucking oil. The United States is a petrol empire. Its empire is based on or on oil. That's why it's so terrified of China, because China is developing independent energy. China is using solar panels and develop using old American technology to create something called a molten salt thorium reactor. It's like nuclear reactors, right? But the only nuclear reactor most people know are the light water reactors, and everyone knows those, right? The glowing rods that you see in The Simpsons, do 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 do, and Homer's wearing that big fucking suit, and he's got the glowing rod, and then it's break time, and he just drops it, and the glowing rod, and it's glowing because it's fucking radioactive, right? It's super dangerous. Everyone knows that the light water reactor, but what the Americans made and didn't continue was the molten salt reactor. We made that shit in the 1960s. Well, I don't say we. I mean Alvin Weinberg, the guy who invented the light water reactor. Right after he invented the light water reactor to make plutonium, to make bombs, he invented the molten salt reactor. The molten salt reactor was a reactor meant for civilian power generation, whereas the light water reactor was intended to create plutonium so you can make fucking nuclear bombs. And he tried and tried and tried to get his design going. They tested the shit out of it and had problems, but those problems were solvable. They could be fixed. And unfortunately, the nuclear technology ran with the light water reactor. That was the agency, that was the technology that got the go-ahead. And finally, but he tried, right? Alvin Weinberg still tried to do it. He was the director of Oak Ridge Laboratories in Tennessee, and he was the director. And so he tried to go into the military and get it done in the military. So the military is like, all right, well, we need a way to deliver nuclear bombs. So we need a bomber that never needs to land. It can be in the air forever. It can fly unlimited distance. We need a bomber that will fly unlimited distance, so you can take the nuclear bomb and drop it, and then fly back anywhere in the world. So Alvin Weinberg's like, okay, I got you, and he invented a fucking bomber powered by a molten salt nuclear reactor that never needed to land. And it was super, super safe because it was fucking flying in the air. It was really, really safe. And it was good. It flew. They actually made one and flew it once. And then they invented ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. So they didn't need bombers anymore. You don't really need a bomber to deliver a nuclear bomb anymore. You just put a nuclear warhead on the ballistic missile, and now you got a intercontinental nuke. You can nuke any city from anywhere. So that bummed out Ivan Weinberg because he invented this fucking plane, this nuclear plane that never went anywhere because, like, ICBMs. And then finally Richard Nixon fired him. Richard Nixon's like, I'm tired of your shit, Alvin Weinberg. I'm tired of your shit. I want to help my friends get rich, and you're in the way. Fuck you, Alvin Weinberg. You're fired. Richard Nixon. And then he doomed us. He tried to get a different kind of nuclear reactor built in California by his friends who made money, from the deal, like Kristi Noem was doing. But it failed. It didn't work out. So all that research and information by Alvin Weinberg and his team to create the the molten salt thorium reactor, it was just fucking shelved. The United States government put it in a fucking file cabinet and just left it there, and like that was it. And then I think in the 90s, the Chinese came by and like, for a tour or whatever. And they're like, the Americans were like, sure, we're gonna show you around our laboratories, And the Chinese were like, hey, we're really, really interested in that thorium reactor, that molten salt reactor. Do you still have those files? And the Americans were like, oh yeah, here, fucking go for it, dude. We don't want it. We're not gonna use it. So the Chinese were like, hey, great, thanks. So they took all the data that the Americans had compiled, that Alvin Weinberg had compiled, and they went back to China. And they've been working on it. And they made a tiny version of the molten salt reactor. It's only 2 megawatts, whereas like the full size one is going to be like 500 megawatts or a gigawatt of power. but they wanted to test it first, the proof of concept, right? So they made a mini one, and they're running it right now. And I think the latest tech breakthrough that they made was that they managed to refuel the reactor without shutting it down. So for a light water reactor, if you want to refuel it, you know, like the rods got to change out the rods, you have to shut down the reactor to do it, which means no power. But with the molten salt reactor, you can you can refill the fuel and remove the contaminants while the reactor is running. So it's like a huge benefit, a huge like increase in efficiency. And plus the molten salt reactor is inherently safe. It's way safer than the light water reactor. You know how light water reactors were always afraid that it's going to blow up and melt down? Impossible with the molten salt reactor. There's nothing to blow up and nothing to melt down. The fuel's already melted. Like it's not gonna it doesn't melt anymore. And yeah. And if it spills out of its container, like the molten salt spills out of its container, like it's not going to be fed by the nuclear fuel anymore, and it will just cool down by itself and turn into a rock. Turns into a rock. It doesn't go anywhere. The big fear of meltdowns, nuclear meltdowns, is that the nuclear fuel gets so hot that it melts, and it melts through the concrete, and it melts through the floor, and it melts through the rock, and it melts through the earth, and it melts all the way down until it reaches the water, the water level, the water table of the ground. And then when the molten salt hits the water table of the ground, or not the molten salt, the molten slag of a nuclear meltdown, when it hits the water table, it will fucking result in a flash of steam. And you know, steam, you gotta expand. You know, steam needs to expand. So what that means is it's a fucking huge explosion. And then all your water is forever contaminated by radioactivity. All your groundwater, forever. Because you can't, like, it's too hot, right? Like eventually it'll like harden when it hits that water table, but then you can't go anywhere near it because it's super radioactive. Yeah, light water reactors are fucking stupid. They're fucking stupid. The obvious choice is the molten salt reactor, obviously, right? But the Americans didn't do it because they were making fucking money by controlling oil. That was the whole setup, right? This whole post World War II setup, this whole thing has been centered around American control of oil. The whole thing. Either you're with the Americans in their game, or you're with the Russians. Right? That's it. That's the only places you got your oil. You either got your oil from the Americans, the West, you know, through Saudi, because Saudi Arabia, right, sells all their oil through dollars. You have to buy dollars to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, per our agreement. So that means people have to buy our currency to buy oil, and they need to buy oil, so they have to buy our currency. And that need to buy our currency props up the power of our currency, creates an artificial demand for our currency, which makes it stronger than it should be. Like they designed it like that on purpose. In fact, the British were going to do that. The Brits were going to do that until they got wrecked during World War II. And after World War II, they were too weak. They couldn't do it anymore. So the Americans did it. Yeah, man. Yeah. And Israel is the last European settler colonial project. Because you got to know, before World War II, Europe was sending out fucking colonies all over the place, trying to colonize places. France was fucking trying to colonize Vietnam. England colonized all of Australia, and colonized the Americas. They colonized all sorts of places. They had control of India. They colonized and subjugated India. And these places that were subjugated by the European powers weren't free. No, all their resources were taken out of their country and sent back to England or the European colonial powers to develop their nations. So it's the development of underdevelopment. Those nations were those nations conquered and by imperialism, by imperialistic powers. Those nations were the resources and energy that would go to developing that nation were not put into that nation and instead taken out and sent to another nation to develop them. So what was left here was underdevelopment. And it's underdeveloped not because the people are dumb, but because their shit got stolen by imperialistic powers. So all after World War II, when all the imperialistic European nations were fucking wrecked from World War II, now these colonies are like, oh shit, our former like imperialistic masters are too weak to resist us. We're gonna fucking fight for our freedom. So that's how India got free. That's how Algeria got free. That's how a bunch of these places got free. Because the idea that you can colonize a foreign nation, we fucking understood that to be abhorrent. Abhorrent. Like, terrible. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing to fucking colonize another land, kill the people that live there, and steal their land, and put your own people there. It's a bad thing. But before we understood that, the Brits made Israel. Well, yeah, pretty much. So Israel is the last settler colonial nation. That's why there's so many problems. Because it's a settler colonial nation, which are inherently bad. I mean, it comes about through conquest. So if your birth is through conquest, that's like your original sin. That's where your origins are from conquest. Like the Americas, right? Its origins are from slavery and genocide. That's the original sin. If it wasn't for slavery and genocide, the United States would not exist. That's why it's the original sin. The sin of its origin. Its origins are from slavery and genocide. Therefore, all of the children of the United States, all of us immigrants at least, the children of immigrants, we carry that original sin, that sin of the origin, that we're here, that this nation exists only because of slavery and genocide. So, like, are we forever fucking condemned and evil? No! We can redeem ourselves. That was the whole point, right? Is we redeem ourselves. The way a nation will redeem itself is, well, undoing the things that it had done. And what are the things that America has done? Slavery and genocide. So how does America undo the slavery and genocide? It creates a system whereby everyone is free, not just the white the plantation owners. No, everyone is free. Justice is for everybody, not just for the plantation owners, but for everybody. Now, you know, that idea like sounds good, right, to us, but if you're an oligarch, if you're a rich person, you hate that idea. So that idea directly goes against your power, so you want to get rid of it. So that's like, understand that America has had at least 3 births. At least 3. It gets progressively freer and closer to its ideals every time. The first time America was born was when it threw off the power of the king. When it rejected the power of the kings and said, no, we are independent of the king. We are able to govern ourselves through reason. We don't need your fucking divine king shit. Fuck that noise. That was the first birth, but America wasn't done, right? The United States wasn't done, because the original sin still held sway over us by a great deal, and so that came to a head during the Civil War, and then in 1865, at the end of the Civil War, America was born again, this time by abolishing the institution of slavery. However, it wasn't done, right? America was still not done, because what remained after slavery was apartheid. So for another 150 years, another 100 years, there was the condition of apartheid in the United States, which was intolerable. And it too was finally defeated through great struggle and sacrifice in 1965 with the passage of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. And that was the third birth of the United States, because then at that point we understood that we had to, in order to absolve ourselves of our original sin,